Hey, I've been erectile dysfunction for 10 years. Now, till this day, I don't know what to do. Deshern Thompson. So, Deshern, if you've had ED for 10 years, first of all, I want you to know that you don't have to give up, but you do have to put the work in, right? You got to figure out what caused it in the first place. So, I think a really nice place to start is myedquiz.com. It's a quiz that I've put together to help you kind of stratify what could potentially be your biggest issue when it comes to erectile issues. And then, honestly, anyone who's having an erectile issue, one of the first things that you want to start with, talk to your doctor about it, but get started doing pumping. If you've had shrinkage, pumping can help. One of the main side effects that we talk about when we're talking about pumping is the size thing, particularly if you're using a water pump, a hydro pump that uses water and air to create the vacuum. When they survey partners and the people using the pump, typically after about 2 months of using it, everybody seems to think, you know what, it's getting bigger. And it makes sense because when you improve blood flow to tissue, you start to get your volume back a little bit, right? Think about it. If you've ever broke your arm and you had to put a cast on it and you couldn't move it and you weren't exercising it, that arm shrinks up, right? But then the more you're using it and the more that's happening to it, it actually starts to plump up because the musculature starts to rebuild itself. And there you have it. So I spend a lot of time talking about natural ways to combat things. Sometimes you need medication. So I'm an MD and I'm a functional medicine provider, and I'll be the first sometimes to say you might need some medication because medication like Viagra, like Cialis, actually does play a role in rehabilitation for some gentlemen. Because what we actually know about it is that it can actually even increase something called superoxide dismutase. And if you want to Google it, it's called SOD, right? And what it actually, studies have been shown that happens is that now SOD is like our super antioxidant that our bodies make, right? And scientists have not figured out a way to like supplement superoxide dismutase. So we're always looking for more ways to make it because superoxide dismutase helps fight something called free radicals. Free radicals are what damages us, what ages us, and all of that. So what we do know about medication like Viagra and Cialis and their generic equivalents is that they do happen to, in some cases, help increase superoxide dismutase. Now, so that is why we sometimes use it for rehab programs. So for instance, if you're coming to me or a doctor that focuses on this type of stuff, and we're doing some shockwave, maybe we're doing the P-shot, maybe even some Botox, one of the things that we have you do while you're going through the program is we either have you on nitric oxide boosters and a medication like that, which is called a PDE5 inhibitor, or we have you on one without the other. And the main reason that we do that is because there is some rehabilitation benefit to being on those medications while you're going through treatment or while you're going through a rehab program. So for instance, if your doctor, you tell them, say, Doc, I'm having some ED issues, and they just throw the pills at you like, here, take this, take these blue pills. Or you've logged on and one of these companies is sending them to you. Well, you want to use that as part of your rehab strategy. Talk to them about pumping and get your pump so that you're not wasting precious time when you could actually be going through a full-on stiffness training protocol, right? So combining the two together works really well. Doing some L-citrulline and L-arginine, which are great supplements that help boost nitric oxide production. While you're in the process of that, it helps too. But what you want to do is put together a plan, and don't just ignore it like it's going to get better. Because if you ignore it, the ED just gets worse. But if you actually proactively come up with a plan for it, then it actually starts to get better. That brings me to the next thing. You got to heal from inside. Like, we want to do everything we possibly can to support the blood flow to the erections, right? Now, I want you to think about it like this. If someone's told you you're borderline diabetic or you are diabetic, this is one of the things that destroys superoxide dismutase. One of the things that if you have diabetes or insulin resistance, this needs to be managed immediately, okay? Because I even want you to think about Alzheimer's, dementia. We now call that type 3, type 4 diabetes, because diabetes is a trajectory. So when they tell you you're pre-diabetic, then you're diabetic, then you might be having some dementia, and all the while your erections are suffering. So because of this is why it's ultimately so important that we make the lifestyle changes necessary to decrease inflammation and to get things on the right track in the health department. Because we can do all this, we can pump, we can do some Botox, we can do all of these things, but if you don't heal from the inside, then the problem stays and you're never really getting any better. You're just putting Band-Aids on it without a long-term solution.